Welcome to Glammed and Unfiltered, the show where real stories meet real style. I'm Klisha Shug Greene, trucking logistics boss by day, social media mavin by night. And I'll be your captain through all the hustle, heart, and unapologetic truth.
And I'm Rosie. Rosie Peaches Hampton, your musical genius with a soul as sweet as my name. From opera halls to street corners, I'm here to soundtrack every triumphant tear. Hey y'all, I'm Jackie Woodard, the culture curator who's never afraid to go there. Expect raw takes, savage truths, and that unapologetic spice you can't find anywhere. Pebbles Davis, I'm Brenda Pebbles Davis, entrepreneur, community queen, and your guide to turning life's little hurdles into stepping stones.
Welcome to Glammed and Unfiltered. I'm your girl, Klisha Shug Greene. Today's episode is all about strength, style, and self-love. Our guest is the incredible Sandey Greene, a dedicated educator in the Birmingham City School, a fierce runway model lighting up stages in Birmingham and Atlanta, and a tireless alopecia advocate changing the conversation around hair loss. We're diving deep into her journey from the classroom to the catwalk and everything in between. So get ready for real talk, inspiration, and a whole lot of heart. Sandey, it's an honor to have you here. So let's get started with some personal questions. Tell us about your hometown and how you first decided to get into teaching.
Okay, I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey, but my parents is from here, and I moved back here after my husband died to Birmingham. I wanted to make a difference, so I got into substitute teaching, and I did that for a couple of years. And then after my son was killed by a drunk driver, I stopped because it was too much for me. And then I started back maybe 3 years ago. So I've been back substitute teaching for the last 3 years, and I love it. I love the challenge. I love to educate and I love to be educated as well.
So you did mention that your son was killed by a drunk driver. Was that in
Yes.
Birmingham or Newark?
It was in Birmingham. My son was 20. His name is Rodriguez White. He was hit and killed by a drunk driver. It was difficult. It was so hard.
I'm
No.
sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Condolences. So you have been with the Birmingham City School since 2021. What's your favorite part of working with students there?
My favorite part is them teaching me things that I don't know. You will be amazed at what kids know. It's not all about me teaching them. They are teaching me as well. Just sitting down with our one-on-one and sometimes a group and learning from them and me teaching them as well.
When did you first step into the runway? And was there one moment you knew modeling would be your thing?
I tried, I think I was around 12 or 13. I tried to do modeling, but my mom really couldn't afford it. So I went to a couple of classes and I stopped. Once I became bald from alopecia, I started again. And when I got the phone call, someone called me, seen me on Facebook, seen my pictures, and they wanted me to model for them. And I did. I knew that's what I wanted to do, to show off. Because you bald, it doesn't stop anything. Some people think because you bald, you can't do certain things. But no, I can do anything that I put my mind to.
Alrighty. So speaking of alopecia, how did you discover that you had alopecia and what was the experience like?
I discovered from a doctor in Georgia over 25 years ago. And for me, my scalp was real tender in the top. I would go get my hair done. And before I got back home, I was taking my hair down from the style because my scalp burnt so bad. I dealt with it for a while. Then I went to a dermatologist and he told me I had alopecia. So I had to go home and educate myself about alopecia, but it really wasn't important because my hair wasn't coming out. My scalp was just sore.
So You're now the alopecia spokesperson,
I
correct?
am. Correct.
What the message you're most passionate about sharing today?
Be who you are. You can't be someone else because that space has already been taken. You take your place in the world and strive to be the best you that you can be.
Can you walk us through a campaign or event you're particularly proud of?
Yes, I speak out about underage drinking and driving because my son was hit and killed by a drunk driver at the age of 20. So I go to different high schools and middle school and I tell my son's journey, what happened to him, how it affected my family, how it would affect anybody that's drinking and driving and get caught, or worse, somebody die, how my son was. And then I have an alopecia organization that's called Don't Stare, Just Ask, hashtag alopecia. And from that, I'm giving awareness. I go to schools, I go to different events. I'm talking about alopecia, how it affect people. I wrote 2 books about alopecia. One is called Crown. It talks about my journey. Then I wrote another one for children that's called All That Pizza. And I named it All That Pizza because one of my granddaughters have a lisp. She can't say alopecia. She says All That Pizza. So I wrote a book for children called All That Pizza. For adults, it's called Crown. You can purchase my books on my website at www.don'tstarejustask.com.
And how do you stay motivated when people still don't get alopecia?
When I walk into a room, I demand respect. I demand it because I'm going to give you respect. I know people are going to look, they're going to stare. So I'm going to walk in as me. I'm going to have my head held up and I'm going to walk in there like I own the room. And that's what you're supposed to do.
You're absolutely right. And I am honored once again to have you join the interview with Glam and Unfiltered. So, what particular tips would you give someone who has just been diagnosed and feeling overwhelmed?
Educate yourself. Find out what alopecia is, what type of alopecia you have, and you have to do a biopsy to find out. Surround yourself with positive people. Get you a circle or friends and family that's positive and talk to people. See, I held mine for a long time. I was so embarrassed to talk about it, but talk to somebody about it. Write a journal and write down everything. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to be high one day, low the next day, and that's okay.
And you mentioned your website. Could you give that to the listening audience just in case they can write it down?
Yes, it's www.don'tstarejustask.com.
Oh, and you do wear a lot of hats. Educate by day, model by night. How do you keep everything running smoothly?
I have my personal secretary, and that's God, because he's the one that opened all the doors for me. And so the doors that he opened, I know he's not going to allow those doors to close. I have a calendar and I write stuff down, but I like the stuff that I do because I advocate not only for alopecia, but against drunk drivers. I feed the homeless. I teach in the daytime. I model. I love modeling. I love acting. Whatever doors that God has for me, I'm going to walk in those doors, whether I'm nervous or not, because God opened it. I'm going to walk through those doors. And I know it's a lot more to come for Sandey.
It is. It is. Do your students know about your modeling gigs and what do they have to say about it?
My students love it. We had a fashion show last week, so I was able to teach them how to walk and how I walk in my different fashion shows. And we had an awesome time. I share my alopecia journey with the students, not only mine, but with the kids in the school. And because a lot of them did not know. Some of them did know what alopecia was. I had to educate them. I had to answer questions because they had that right to answer, to ask questions because they see this bald lady walking into their school and they want to know why I'm bald. We had a book signing today. I signed 54 books. Plus, I gave them the cover of my book and I signed that as well. And I created a coloring book. Awesome time.
That's
Thank you.
amazing. You are an amazing, talented, gifted woman. And I love the fact that you do take the time to share your journey with other women. So, with that being said, what's your go to strategy for self self-care when things get hectic for you?
I come home, I wind down. My favorite thing is taking a hot bath, listen to gospel music, and talking to God.
It feels like God is the center of your life.
It's the center, the front, the back, the up, all over. Yes.
So have you ever brought lessons from the runway back into your classroom?
Well, I've talked to them about the different experience. Some of them do want to be a model. That's why we had the fashion show. Every model gig is not going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to be that way. I try to teach them how to walk, how to talk, how to present themselves as a lady or a gentleman, because it's boys too. If you believe you can do it, then you can do it, regardless of what someone else thinks. Because had I believed what people said about me, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Who were your role models growing up? And do you ever try to pay that forward now?
Yes. My mom, we had our ups and downs, but as I got older, I could understand why certain things happen because I was a young mother as well. I'm paving everything that I've learned, I'm paving it forward to the children, even feeding the homeless. Whatever I have to do, speaking to children in schools, going to event speaking. Because if God give you something, he don't give it for you to hold to yourself. He give it so you can share with other people. And that's what I do.
And what exciting projects does Miss Sandey Greene have lined up for Birmingham or Atlanta?
June 22nd to June 29th, I'll be modeling in Birmingham for Figure Fashion Week. I'm so excited. And June 8th, I'll be in Georgia modeling for over 40 models, and I'm excited about that as well. Then I have an alopecia walk in September 20th. The Bortondale, Alabama. It's just 2 exits down from Birmingham. It'd be my fourth one. I'm gonna be a judge in Texas at a pageant. Then I'm going to speak at another part of Texas as the guest speaker.
That's wonderful. Where do you hope to see alopecia awareness in the next 5 years?
Unity. We have a lot of different groups out here, but unity. We all get together and just learn and talk and fellowship together along the line. Because it's about alopecia and the ones coming up behind us. So my goal is to educate young people, adults as well, but especially young people, because mine was a secret for over 25 years. I didn't tell anyone except like my beautician knew, my doctors knew, but like my family and friends, nobody knew. So to let people know you can talk about it. It's not a death sentence how I thought it was. I thought it was a death sentence, and it is not.
What made you live out loud?
I had shaved my head the year prior. God did not tell me to do it. I did it because I wanted to. So I let my hair grow back where it would grow back because I was so uncomfortable. I wasn't ready. It was 2022. I had came to Atlanta and I brought some blonde hair, and I knew I was gonna be a baddie. I'm not gonna say what, but I was gonna be a baddie. So I was in the mirror, I took my scarf off, and I had no hair here, around here. I started crying. I don't know why I just started crying because to me, I'm looking like an old man or a Harvey the Clown because I had hair around the sides in the back, but nothing up in here. And so I'm crying, looking in the mirror, and God's speaking to me. He said, "It's time." I'm like, "It's time for what?" He said, "To shave your head." I don't know where I got the razor from. So I remember getting a razor, stroking my head. And every time I stroked my head, I felt lighter. I got through shaving my head and I got myself together. I washed it, I put a little makeup on, and I took pictures. I sent them to my children and grandchildren because if anyone was going to laugh at me, it was going to be my children and my grandchildren. No one laughed. So I knew I did the right thing for me.
So if there's one thing you want listeners to do after hearing your story, what would it be?
Educate yourself, whatever you're going through, whether it's alopecia, cancer, abuse, whatever it is, educate yourself. Don't lock yourself in how I did. Find somebody you can talk to. I don't know exactly when I was healed, but I know I am healed. Had I been writing a journal, I could have flipped back on some pages. I know that God healed me because I walk boldly in my baldness.
And walking boldly,
Yes.
does that come from the strength that the Lord has given you to
Yes.
overcome the obstacles?
Yes, he did. And then after I shaved my head, a couple of weeks later, I said to God, I said, I still want to feel like a woman. What can I do to still feel like a woman? I still want to be able to do my hair. So God showed me these tattoos. So
Yeah.
weekly, I change my tattoos in my head. And if I'm going to do a fashion show or I'm doing something, I change it twice or sometimes 3 times a week because I don't ever want the same look. This is my hair design. I still get to do my hair.
And I have met Sandey Greene,
Mhm.
and she is a sight to see the way she commands the room. Sandey Greene, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time out to share your story with Glam and Unfiltered and our listening audience. And I'm gonna go over a little bit about what Glam and Unfiltered is, so our listening audience
Yes.
has a clearer concept of what it is that we do. We are a podcast and street interviewers, and we also interview women like yourself. We're focused
Yes.
on bringing every woman's story to the forefront, and we want to meet the women right where they are. Nothing fancy, no studio, just right where the woman is, and to let the woman tell her story as she wants. So we have a website, glamandunfiltered.com. And you can go on there. You can send us an email. We'll reply. You can
Mhm.
join the Queen Circle. And that just helps get us give back to the women that we do the interviews on the streets because we do give them a smile incentive. So that's basically who we are. So we thank you. I'm going to join you in September for the Alopecia Walk. I'm going to bring two of the ladies. We're going to be there to support.
Thank
So that's
you.
gonna be fun. And we would love to have you back as a guest on our podcast. And I would love to do another interview with you right before the alopecia walk, if that's okay.
Yes.
Everyone, give it up for Sandey Greene.
Yes, mom. Yes. Can I give them my social media?
Go right ahead.
Yeah. My Facebook is Sandey Greene, SandeyGreene. My alopecia page is Don't Stare, Just Ask, #alopecia. My Instagram is fearless_woman 68. And again, my website is www.don'tstarejustask.com.
And how can they purchase your children's book and your crown book?
On my website at www.don'tstarejustask.com.
All righty. And you mentioned an organization that you're affiliated with called Ron. Could you go in a little bit more in depth about that organization and where can they find information about that organization?
Yes, my organization is called RON, and RON stands for Righteousness Overpowered Negativity. My son name is Rodriguez White. That organization came from my son's name. And you can go on my website and you can see a picture of my son. You can read about what happened to him on my website as well, www.don'tstarejustask.com. And you hit the icon for Ron.
Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. And I thank you so very much for taking your time out of your busy schedule. You have yourself a wonderful, marvelous rest of this beautiful day.